Hello, everybody. How's everybody doing tonight on this Saturday evening? Sorry that we didn't go live on Friday night like our usual. Jamie wasn't feeling good, and I wasn't feeling great either. And then we were gonna do this story, and then we weren't, and then we just had some technical difficulties. So So anyway, so I'm gonna go by myself tonight, do this story. So it's just me tonight. So hope you guys will enjoy this story for Murder, Makeup, and Mayhem. And I'm so excited to do this story. I hope you guys will enjoy it. So I'm going to take off my makeup as people come in. Hello, how are you doing tonight? How is your Saturday evening going for you? Are you having a good night? I have to take off my makeup from work. Hey, Brady. How have you been? It's been a long time since I've seen you. I'm doing good. I'm doing really good. Have you been busy with work, and have you got to traveling or anything? I know. I worked today. Been pretty busy today at work. What else has been going on with you, Brady? Me too. Busy making videos. There you go. Welcome in, whoever just came in. Thank you for coming in tonight. I'm just taking off my makeup, getting ready to, put more makeup on and start in the story. Tonight we're going to be discussing the Nickel Mines school shooting. It happened in Lancaster County, Pennsylvania. So that's what we're going to be talking about tonight. In the Murder, Makeup, and Mayhem story. That's what we're going to be going over. So a little different departure from the Black Dahlia that we talked about last time. Not, it's a little different. So, Hello, welcome in, everybody. How you guys doing? How's everybody doing tonight? Everybody that just came in. I was just saying that what we're going to be, the story tonight is the Nickel Mines school shooting. It happened in Lancaster County in Pennsylvania. And so it's a little different than the story that we went over last time. Last time we talked about the Black Dahlia. So totally different direction with this story. And tonight Jamie will not be joining us. Well, I didn't know if you were going to come up or not. We could still do Jack the Ripper if you want to come up. Or we could do this. Did you want to come up? I will drop the link in your... Here. Hold on. Matt, send me a message. So I can send you the link. Oh, just post it? Okay. All right. Okay, so never mind. We're not going to talk about nickel mines. We're going to talk about Jack the Ripper. See, super flexible. Hello, Turtle Darkness. Matt is going to be joining me to talk about Jack the Ripper. I wasn't sure if he was going to join me. That's why I didn't know if we were going to discuss Jack the Ripper. But now that he is going to be joining, we will discuss Jack the Ripper. So, what does everybody remember about Jack the Ripper? Does anybody have any thoughts about Jack the Ripper? I didn't know it. Like before I started, like I only knew like probably like a little bit. That's pretty much all I do. Good answer. Because he did. It is actually kind of sad. Like, I kind of got more information on why that was. And I kind of will get into that. It's kind of sad. Like, the whole thing is just really sad. Right? That is, it is, he did. It's gross. No one knows who he was. Yes, they went unsolved. Like completely unsolved. But a lot of crimes did. Like they just didn't have like the. I just really don't think they had the manpower or like the knowledge to find like serial killers back then. You know? I just don't think that they knew even how to begin to hunt down a serial killer back in those times. So that's why they got away with it. Like, let alone, like, deal with the crime scene. It's crazy, like, how many... They needed forensic. They did. They totally did. I wonder, and I didn't get to, like, I know Matt has more of, like, the suspects, like, on who he thought did it and, like, why, you know, so I'll have him get into that. I will wait for him to kind of really get into it. So hopefully he'll be getting on soon. My contact keeps on messing up. Don't you hate that? Whoever wears contacts? Oh my gosh. Okay, that's better. Is the link not working? Let me message him and see if the link is working. Because, you know, I am so not technological savvy. Maybe I sent him the wrong link. Oh, you're having problems. I was just getting ready to message you and, like, did I send you the wrong link? Did I mess up? Because that could be the problem. I'm, like, nervous that I, like, messed up. That's what. Don't laugh at me. Okay, so what do you guys want to talk about while we're reading? Did you guys have a good day? I worked all day. Like, I did nothing super exciting. Oh, I won a contest though at work. They're having a hairspray sale, and I got, like, second place, and I won a jewelry case. I mean, I don't know why they gave me a jewelry case, but I thought that was cool. I won something because I never really win anything, and so I was pretty excited. So now I have a jewelry case. So it was pretty cool. And then what else? I was trying to think of something else that was going on that happened. Nope, just wanted to contest. That was it. I didn't even know that. Oh, here he is. Hello.
Hello, can you hear me? Testing 1, 2.
I can hear you. Can you hear us? Well, me.
I can.
Hello, Frank.
Jack the Ripper!
All right, let's get started on Jack the Ripper.
All right.
So he killed prostitutes who worked the slums of East London.
Yeah.
And he cut their throat. This is what I got. He cut their throats from the abdomen, the abdomen, and mutilated it. Like, did he remove their internal organs?
Yeah. Yeah, and that's why a lot of the doctors were being looked at, and
Butchers. They said butchers too.
And butcher. That's why the one that is probably truly Jack the Ripper. Like, they have, like, oh, it's this guy. Like, there's so many names that are out there, and there's no really suspect for them. Like they just, like, what they did. Know what it was like? They put everyone's name in a hat,
right?
And and they said, okay, it's gonna be Montauk John Druitt, or it's gonna be Aaron Kaminsky or George Chapman. There's nothing, like, they have maybe one thing or maybe two things that connect him to the murders. But the one person that fits the description, fits the MO, fits everything, is a man by the name of Charles Cross, also known as Charles Lynchmeier.
And he was the only one that was actually seen with one of the victims.
Oh, yeah, he was seen hovering over a body. He was a butcher. Because remember, Jack the Ripper's his other name was Leather Apron. And,
right.
And Charles Lynchmeier, also known as Charles Cross, wore a leather apron and was covered in blood and walked the same path that Jack the Ripper would kill in all of the areas.
Right. Because he killed in only one area.
Right. And it was the area that Charles Cross worked in.
I mean, so it would seem that would be the suspect.
Yep.
And I also saw that they think that, that there was like 11 murder victims at the time.
Dude,
they only think that he killed 5.
No. I think if you really delve into it like I have and really studied it, and I'm telling you right now, he killed all those people. I truly believe, because back then, forensics and police work was so sloppy that they didn't have anything to disprove. They had nothing.
He just could have been sloppier with the other ones. Because they said that the 5 main ones, there was just more precision, and the other ones were sloppy. And that's why they didn't think that he killed the same ones. And because they called
but you have to understand though. They're earlier.
Right.
They're earlier. So it's like he's learning.
He learned.
But by time. Right. It's just like if you go fishing. You're not going to know how to put the worm on the hook if you've never done it before.
Right. He gained.
You know what I mean? So if you go and you look at his victims,
right,
starting from the first one, the ones that they discounted, all the way to Mary Jane Kelly, and I'm telling you something right now, he perfected his craft.
Oh yeah, because the way he gutted her and took everything out, you couldn't even
recognize her from limb to limb. He ripped her from limb to limb. Right. Eternal darkness is right. He gained confidence. He progressed and he gained confidence. All those victims are his. I'm sorry, they are.
I think so too, because it did say that he like those. Because even the 5 that he says with hers, he got worse. Even though that they said it was the same person, and the way he did the cuts were, they could tell it was the same person. He got worse. Like Marianne wasn't as bad as Mary Jane. He got worse.
You got to understand something too. How well did the city care for these women?
They didn't. They were whores.
They didn't. They could have prevented these murders and stuff like that, but you know what though? They didn't care about the women and people of Whitechapel. They just didn't.
Well, they were.
That's why. Go ahead.
No, they didn't, because they were like mainly immigrants from Ireland and Jewish. Like they were all like women. Women were forced to be prostitutes because the poverty was so high in England that that's all they had to do to like take care of their families. These women had no else thing to do but to become prostitutes.
Yeah, so I just think that the police work was shoddy at best.
It was.
And I'm telling you right now, if there was a time machine and we all placed wagers and we got to see who Jack the Ripper was, Charles Cross, also known as Charles Lynchmeier, was Jack the Ripper.
Oh, I think so. I think it was definitely a butcher. The way they talk about the cut mark, he cut from right to left, the gutting, like that sounds like a butcher.
No, you're talking about Charles, not Richard.
You know what I meant. I think you know what I meant. I mean, I definitely think it was the butcher.
So do I. He's the only one. He has the 3 points of contact. In police detective work, he had more than 3. He had the route, discovery, the profession, the place where he lived, and the mental attitude.
Oh, yeah.
So, I'm willing to bet the farm that it was him.
Was the movie hell about Jack the Ripper?
That I don't know. I never watched Jack the Ripper movies. I only like the like true crime, like ones that delve into investigations and stuff like that, you know?
I've never seen that. Do you want to talk about each victim?
Well, are we doing the Conical Five? Is that what we're just going to do?
Yeah, if you want to.
Okay. Well,
I mean, you know it way much better than I do.
Well, the first victim was Marianne Nichols.
Right.
She was the first one. She was found in the early morning hours. It's like 3-something in the morning or whatever. In the Bucks Row section of Whitechapel. But she was seen. People saw her just like right before she before her body and everything else like that. Right. She was an early victim to where he was sloppy. You know what I mean?
Didn't they say like an hour after? Like they found her Like she was there, and then like an hour later,
yeah, she was still. Yeah. Right, and like she was almost disemboweled. All sorts of. I mean, I don't say the other word on here, but her lady part was even stabbed and everything else like that. So
yes, I can't believe like that was like what was with him stabbing the lady parts.
I don't know. I just think he must have had so much rage for the women because when he like would stab them and stuff, like they went down to the bone. Like I mean the vertebrae and
yeah, he would cut through the neck all the way to the spine. Like he had some aggression towards women. Like he must have been abused or something.
What does that tell you? That he was probably a butcher and he was used to cutting through bone.
Yes. Yes. And also that he must have been an abused child, that he has some aggression towards women. Like psychologically has some issues towards women.
Nothing against the English police in the 1800s, but they really did not know what they were doing.
No, they did not.
They really
I mean, psychologically, the guy has some problems towards some women, is what I'm saying. I'm not a psychologist or anything, but he has some aggression towards women.
He probably got turned down. Or he was a sexual deviant.
Well, and that was another thing. There was no sexual. He didn't rape them. He didn't do anything sexual.
It doesn't matter. No. See that's where you're going off the path. Sexual deviants sometimes do not want to have sex with their victims.
Right.
You know.
Right.
But yeah, Marianne Nichols. She was pretty much torn apart. Her throat was cut, severed. She had cut down to her vertebrae. Her vagina was stabbed. There was jagged cuts. Her bowel was protruding. He was sloppy on this one.
He was very sloppy.
But then, short time after that, Annie Chapman. And there's pictures of these women too. You can go online and see the pictures of these women, and you can see how they looked.
Yeah.
No.
No.
But yeah, now the thing with Annie Chapman, he was getting more abrasive with it because her abdomen was cut like totally open from her stomach and everything else like that. And I mean, he really ripped her apart.
Yeah. He got really into he was really a lot more aggressive with it this time, unlike the last one.
And I do believe, if I'm not mistaken, Annie Chapman, she had a lot of missing body parts. If I remember correctly, I believe that her uterus, her bladder, and her vagina were missing.
Yes. Yeah. Yeah, there was one that had and one, I can't remember which one. One of them had Annie's, her vagina had been removed and her bladder.
Yeah, she was found out. She was like a week later.
Yes. Yes. Her abdomen had been entirely open with section of her skin and flesh and plus her small intestines and being removed and placed above her right shoulder. Gross. And the autopsy showed that her uterus and sections of her bladder and her vagina had been removed.
Right. And then you get to the famous double event after that.
Right.
With Elizabeth Stride and Catherine Eddows.
And they were a lot more, and then he got even more aggressive with those.
Yes, he did.
So each one, and they were also in the more early morning. So he also got a little more cocky with them because they were like in the day, not at night.
Right. And well, they were both killed. I would say like later on because they found her body, or Elizabeth Stride's, around 1 o'clock in the morning.
Yeah, but still, I mean, that's still kind of like
caught him.
But still, it's almost
like
caught him right there. He was right there, so he's like getting a little bit more cocky about it. Hello, Nancy. How are you doing? Yeah, but so Elizabeth's body was discovered first, right?
What's that?
Was Elizabeth's body discovered first before Catherine's? Or were they kind of discovered at the same time?
No. Stride's body was found first.
Yeah. That's what I thought. That's what I thought I read.
But he made a lot more cuts with these women.
He did. I think he just gets more aggressive.
If you read the reports, horrible.
It is horrible. It's gross. It gets gross. When I was writing it down, it was like, whoa, gross. You share it. I have to put the dog out. So you talk about Elizabeth. Why I had to put Brownie out. Because she's been whining.
So how's everybody doing? Everybody doing good? Getting ready with Nancy. All right. How you doing, Nancy? Eternal. Hello, Eternal.
All right. What did I miss?
Nothing. I actually waited for you to get back because I said hi to people. And
okay, I'm back. All right. Okay, so Elizabeth's body, her throat was slit, and it had long, deep,
her
jagged.
throat wasn't slit.
It was not slit. Okay, it was like severed. Severed is what it said. I was trying to be nice.
There's nothing nice in
okay.
19th
it was
century
not okay.
London.
It was severed.
It
was severed. It was severed all the way down. It was completely severed, and the abdomen was ripped open. And her intestines were placed over her right shoulder also. What's the thing with ripping open and putting them over her right shoulder? I mean, that's disturbing.
Because when butchers are butchering, it was common practice for butchers to do that. When you're slaughtering an animal.
We're back to the butcher. It's the butcher.
Exactly.
He did it. Why didn't they just arrest the butcher? I mean, that's kind of stupid. Bad police work. They shot.
It was horrible police work. You don't understand. You had the London police versus the Metropolitan Police.
Scotland Yard.
Because of jurisdiction. They didn't share a lot of information. There was a lot of stuff that went awry with Jack the Ripper. Let's delve into that.
Right.
Before anything.
Right.
So you have a police department that did not know how to handle. And no police department did in the 19th century.
I agree.
I think the most high-tech thing they ever had was the camera and fingerprints.
I think so.
That's the one thing they never did. They never did. They never tried to take fingerprints, even from the last murder. They made everything a circus. It was sensationalized. It was not treated with the care that it should have been treated. And know what else they didn't do?
What?
They never even decoyed him.
What?
They never sent a woman out in the area to lure him out to grab him.
That's crazy. They knew what he was. They knew what. Why wouldn't they do that? That's crazy.
Because they didn't know how to handle something like this. You're talking about police officers that aren't even armed back then.
But I guess they didn't know. I guess they didn't know what a serial killer was back then.
No. That's why they don't connect the other murders to this one, which I wholeheartedly believe. And not just me. There's many experts out there too that believe that, Charles Cross was the Ripper and that he killed all those people.
Right. But yeah, I think he did too after reading it. Because I was like, it's funny how like certain things you read says no, he only killed the 5, and then no other things you read, oh, he killed the 11. It's funny how like things you read. Hey, Ulysses. What?
So, I mean, you had ample people that would get involved in the investigation. However, it just wasn't handled properly. The people that were like the chief of police and the chief inspectors and stuff like that, they considered themselves too high society to deal with the low-level crimes of the day, considering that they did not care for the people of Whitechapel. So they didn't kind of pursue it the way that an American police department. Take for instance, look at the Bloody Benders. Look at all the other crimes. Look at H.H. Holmes and all them other 19th century. They solved that shit. Excuse my language.
No, you can catch adults only.
We solved our stuff, but in England at the time, they didn't have the proper care for the people that were impoverished in the Whitechapel area. So when they treated it more as a game than anything.
But we also didn't catch the Benders. I mean, because we had the manpower to catch the Benders.
Yeah, but we know who did it though.
True.
But but with all of my gut instincts and everything that I know about murders and stuff like that and putting 2 to 2 together, you remember I spent a whole career with police officers and doing EMS work and stuff like that. So it tells me that Mr. Cross was Jack the Ripper. He fit the MO. He fit everything perfect.
I agree. I think that are 100% correct. I think it was him. Like everything that I read It totally fits. Like, it has to be him. Like, they
called the Jack the Ripper the leather apron.
And then they found a leather apron by one of the victims. I can't remember which one.
Cross wore a leather apron. He was a well-known butcher and lived in the area and walked the great routes that the women were killed.
Right. Right.
That's like saying, okay, there was a Twinkie. Someone ate this Twinkie. We have 10 suspects. One of them has Twinkie dough on his fingertips and the cream on the side of his mouth. But we don't think it's him. It's going to be this guy.
You know? Right. Right.
I mean, it's ridiculous to think.
I can't believe they didn't. I can't believe they didn't even like arrest him or anything. You know.
Well, back then, like I said, it was really botched. I mean, we'll never know. I mean, it was a shame what happened to the women and stuff like that. And they still weren't even. They still didn't get their stuff together. Even later on, there was another Ripper in England during the 70s.
There was.
Yeah.
But I don't, and then it was like, also, they probably didn't care because it was prostitutes. So that wasn't probably like.
Oh, had it been someone in high society?
Yeah.
Absolutely. They would have, yeah, they would have gotten everybody involved, but it just didn't warrant that for prostitutes.
Because they
died for it. And they literally died for it. You know, I mean, like they said, someone from the royal family was Jack the Ripper. Get the heck out of here. You know, I mean, there were so many far-fetched things. It's staring them right in the face.
It had to be somebody that had that skill.
And a butcher would.
Yeah. That's what I mean. It had to be a butcher, somebody with that skill. Nobody could have done that without that skill.
You're absolutely right.
I mean,
absolutely right.
I mean there's no doubt about it. An average person couldn't have done what he did to those women.
You can be a PhD in Jack the Ripper criminology and tell me that it was somebody else, and I still wouldn't believe you.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like, there is a popular documentary on YouTube, and it tells you all about this Lynchmeier guy. And when you look at the evidence that is against this guy and everything else, you will say to yourself, holy smokes, it's him. It is. It is. It's definitely him. He did it and got away with it.
Right.
Yeah.
Hey, Jamie. Well, we're sorry you don't feel good either. We hope you feel better soon.
Hey, Jamie. Jamie, Pennsylvania. Jamie Jararosi, Pennsylvania. But going back even to the first victim.
Okay.
Going back to the first victim. Okay. Let's go. We're only going to do the Conical Five. The Conical Five is what we're going to do.
Yeah.
All right. And that consists of Marianne Nichols, Annie Chapman, Elizabeth Stride, Catherine Eddows, and Mary Jane Kelly.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. I don't believe that they're the only five, because it just didn't comply with he just started out on that day. I don't believe that. There had to be small murders and murders that he had committed. And I think that the other victims, I think they're just as viable as the Conical Five. And because remember, Mary Jane Kelly kind of wasn't the final victim. You know, there was more murders that occurred.
Yeah, I think he built up to them.
I think they were his first. I think the Conical Five were his first, and I think Marianne Nichols was the very first one to be killed.
Yeah, I think that he started out with them, and then he built, like, he mastered what he was doing, and I don't think he stopped because he never got caught.
No, he never got caught because you know what? He did his fill. He killed his women, and then he did, whatever he wanted to do.
He might not have stayed in London, but I don't think he stopped what he was doing. Because why would you stop?
He stayed in London. I think he stayed in London.
Because you said that in the 70s it happened again. But I mean, he was becoming then. But
well, look at Charles Lynchmeier. He found Marian Nichols.
Right.
All right. And he was named a suspect. But his statements to the police didn't add up to what was later found. Matter of fact, there's an article, and it said in 2012 there was several newspapers that articles claiming that far from being innocent bystander who simply stumbled upon the body of Marian Nichols, Cross was in fact the man who had murdered her, and his subsequent statements were a tissue of lies. They found out that they went back, and everything that he told the police was a lie. He was certainly in the area. Okay.
Right.
He fit the description. He worked in the area.
Right.
And he was the only one out of all the people that they caught or blamed or anything that knew the area good and was really from the area.
Hey, real lady.
You know what I mean? So
right, I agree. I think that I agree with what you're saying 100%.
The people that saw him.
Yeah.
I mean, he's definitely Jack the Ripper. But going back to the victims, we got Marian Nichols, Annie Chapman, Elizabeth Stride, Catherine Eddows, and Mary Jane Kelly. Marianne Nichols being the first one. We know he was sloppy with her just by reading we'll go through it right now. Right now. Her throat was severed by 2 deep cuts, one which would completely severed all the tissue down to the vertebrae. Her vagina had been stabbed twice. The lower part of her abdomen was partly ripped open with a deep, jagged wound, causing her bowels to protrude. Several other incisions inflicted on both sides of her abdomen had been also caused by the same knife. Each of these wounds had been inflicted in a downward thrusting manner. That's anger.
He's angry. He's angry at women. I'm telling you, he's like deep anger with women.
Hi, real lady. Crystal. Hi, hobbyist. That's why I tell women don't get me angry. No, I'm kidding.
Don't get you angry. You don't want to see me angry? Do you want stabbed in the vagina?
Yo, Yo, I'll stab a bitch in the vagina, man.
Stab a bitch in the vagina. Ow, that just sounds horrible. Horrible. Stabbed in the vagina. Ugh. And one of them gets her boob cut off. We'll get to that.
Well,
but one of them's a boob cut off.
All right, let's go to Annie Chapman. Okay. Her abdomen had been cut entirely open with sections of the flesh from her stomach being placed over her left shoulder. Another section of skin and flesh plus her small intestines being removed and placed above her right shoulder. Chapman's autopsy also revealed that her uterus and sections of her bladder and vagina had been removed.
Right. You went to Mortal Kombat today? That's cool, Hobbits. Yes, this is about the Ripper. It's a little gruesome.
Yeah, it's gruesome. It's gruesome.
We thought the Dahlia was gruesome. Ripper's a little more gruesome.
The Dahlia was only one body. This is more of that.
Yep. Okay, next victim.
Well, the next victim is 2.
Right.
It's called the double event, which was Elizabeth Stride and Catherine Eddows.
Right.
Okay, they were both killed in the early morning hours of Sunday, September 30th, 1888. Stride's body was discovered approximately at 1 a.m. in Duffield's yard off Burner Street. And the cause of death was a single clear-cut incision, measuring 6 inches across her neck, which had severed her carotid artery and her trachea before terminating beneath her right jaw. Now, here's the thing about that one, is the absence of any further mutilations to her body has led to uncertainty as to whether Stride's murder was committed by the Ripper. I think it was. He was interrupted during that attack.
Yeah.
And
he almost got caught.
Yes. That set up the double event, because he wasn't able to finish with her. Boom.
I'm using the KKW palette and the Miss West palette.
She's using Jack the Ripper palette.
Mm-hmm. I'm gonna use
Jack the Ripper palette.
I'm gonna use some black though from Huda Beauty though. The Remastered Rose. Hey, Joy.
Hi, Joy. I'm eating something, so if you hear the wrapper.
No, you're fine.
But yeah, the double event.
Okay, so we were talking about the second. You were finishing up Elizabeth. So then.
Yeah, I think when he was interrupted with Stride's murder, I think that's when he went after Eddows. Because he didn't get to finish what he was doing.
Right. So because he almost got caught, and so he didn't get to finish completely, but he still did a lot to her. It was still, because her face was all messed up. She had a triangle cut on her face. You couldn't even recognize it. She was still pretty messed up.
Yeah.
Messed up.
Well, and they still didn't catch him. He almost got caught that night. He killed 2 women. But when he was because Eddows' body was found on Mitre Square. and it was found only 3/4 of an hour after the discovery of Elizabeth's stride. Her throat was severed, her abdomen ripped open by a long, deep, and jagged wound before her intestines had been placed over her right shoulder. Again, with that, the left kidney, which was sent in the mail.
Gross.
And they said it only took 5 minutes for him to do that.
That's so gross. These people and sending things in the mail. Disturbing. So disturbing. I mean, my guy did that. Like, what? That's your first thought. I'm gonna send this in the mail.
I ate her kidneys with lava beans.
I'm just saying. That's your first thought as a killer. I'm gonna send it in the mail. Gross. And what's my thoughts? 716. I think they're nasty people. It's disgusting.
But yeah, they were killed brutally. You know, they were. It's a shame. But I think who got it the worst. I'm not trying to judge everything, but the one who got it the worst was Mary Jane Kelly.
Yes, I mean she's the one that got her boob cut off and everything. She got messed.
She was her
and her face.
Her legs were filleted. She was ripped apart.
She was gutted. Like everything was missing.
Yes.
It was messed up. Like he was very mad at her for some reason. I don't know what she did to him, why he thought he was mad at her, but he was like angry on a whole nother level. You're getting dumped with rain. Internal darkness.
Yeah, so have you seen the autopsy or the crime scene picture?
I haven't seen the autopsy. You know, after reading how bad they were, I did not want to see the pictures.
You got it. It is horrible. It's horrible.
I know. That's why I didn't want to see the pictures. I made a mistake of when I was reading the book of the Black Dahlia. I was like finishing reading the book, and then all of a sudden, at the end of the book, they show you all the pictures.
Reading the book.
And it made me want to vomit. And that's all I'm going to say about that. Like, they didn't have pictures until the very end, and you couldn't miss them. It's like, it was so gross.
So what look are you going for tonight? What are you doing?
I was just doing like a neutral smoky eye.
Oh. You should make it look like a victim of Jack the Ripper. Like make your eyes
Like make my eye look like it got stabbed out.
No, no, because they weren't. No, because he didn't stab their eyes out. Like if you ever look at their autopsy pictures, you'll see like one of their eyes were cockeyed and shit like that.
I can do a black eye. I can make my eye look like I got hit in the face. I can actually
make yourself chalky gray. Make yourself look chalky gray.
I can give myself a black eye. I mean, I actually can do some stage makeup, and I can do a black eye. But because I did theater for years, and I can actually do a black eye, and some like scars and stuff like that. But I don't have. I need to get a stage kit again to do that.
Yeah, stage kit.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, Eternal Darkness saw the
crime scene
photos. Yeah.
I just don't know if I want to, if it's like that. I mean, it sounds horrible.
Horrible ain't the word.
I mean, it's okay. It sounds like a nightmare, and I don't know if I want to see it.
Oh, you'll love it. You'll love it. It looks delicious.
Delicious. Okay, not after I eat. I don't want to see it after I eat. Because then I might on my food. Okay, let's talk about Marianne.
So we want to talk about.
Are we going to finish up talking about Marianne?
No, we can talk about Mary Jane.
Mary Jane. I said Marianne. Mary Jane. Sorry, my bad.
All right, let's read into it. Want to read into it?
Let's read into it.
Okay. The extensively mutilated and disemboweled body of Mary Jane Kelly was discovered lying on the bed in a single room where she lived at 13 Miller's Court off of Dorset Street. At 10:45 a.m. on Friday 9th, November 1888, her face had been hacked beyond all recognition. Her throat was severed down to the spine, and the abdomen almost emptied of its organ. Her uterus, kidneys, and one breast was placed beneath her head.
He's just being cruel at that point.
Yeah, and other body parts placed beside her foot. About the bed section, her abdomen and her thighs upon a bedside table. The heart was missing from the crime scene.
Cruel. He's just being cruel at that point.
All right, but they say historically the belief these 5 conical murders were committed by the same perpetrator is derived from contemporary documents which link them together to the exclusion of the others. In 1894, Sir Melvin McNaughton, Assistant Chief Constable of the Metropolitan Police and head of the Criminal Investigation Department, wrote a report stating the Whitechapel murderer had 5 victims and 5 victims only, which I think it's bullcrap.
That's horseshit.
Yeah, so
I agree with that.
Focusing on her. Let's go to her post-mortem, shall we?
Yes, we shall.
Okay. Here's her post-mortem. Because it is nasty.
It is nasty. I mean, isn't that cruel just to like place her organs in like one of her boobs under her head? I mean, isn't that a little like cruel? I find that I was like, just you're like a cruel son of a bitch. Like at that point, just saying.
Well,
I'm just saying.
Here's her post-mortem. The body was lying naked in the middle of the bed. The shoulders flat, but the axis of the body inclined to the left side of the bed. The head was turned on the left cheek. The arm was close to the body, with the forearm flexed at the right angle and lying across the abdomen. The right arm was slightly abducted from the body and rested on the mattress. The elbow was bent, the forearm supine, with the fingers clenched. The legs were wide apart, and the thigh at the right angles to the trunk, at the right forming of the obtuse angle with the pubis. The whole of the surface of the abdomen and thighs were removed, and the abdominal cavity emptied. The breasts were cut off, the arms mutilated with several jagged wounds, and the face hacked beyond recognition of the features.
They couldn't even recognize
tissues
her, right?
of the neck were severed all around to the bone. What's that?
They couldn't even recognize her, right? Like she was completely like hacked up on her face, right?
The viscera were found in various parts. The uterus and kidneys with one of the breasts were under her head, the other breast by the right foot, the liver between the feet, the intestines by the right side of the spleen, and by the left side of her body. The flaps removed from the abdomen, thighs, and were on the table. The bed clothing at the right corner was saturated with blood, and on the floor was a pool of blood covering 2 square feet. The wall on the right side of the bed and in a line with the neck was marked by blood which had struck it in several places. The face was gashed in all directions, the nose, cheeks, eyebrows, and ears being partly removed. The lips were blanched and cut, several incisions running obliquely down to the chin, where there was also numerous cuts extending irregularly across the features. Yikes. That's a lot.
He's a messed up dude.
The neck was cut through the skin and other tissues down to the vertebrae, the 5th and 6th being deeply notched. The skin cuts in the front of the neck showed distinct ecchymosis. The air passage was cut to the lower part of the larynx through the sacroid cartilage. Ow.
Yeah.
Both breasts were more or less removed by circular incisions, the muscle down to the ribs being attached to the breast. The intercostals between the 4th and 5th and the 6th ribs were cut through, and the contents of the thorax visible through the opening. The skin and tissues of the abdomen of the costal arch to the pubes were removed in 3 large flaps. The right thigh was denuded in front of the bone, and the flap of skin, including the external organs of the generational and right part of the buttock and the left thighs, was stripped of skin. The muscles the muscles as far as the knee. The lower calf showed a long gash through the skin and tissues and deep muscles and reaching from the knee to 5 inches above the ankle. Both arms and forearms had extensive jagged wounds, and the right thumb showed a small superficial incision about being 1 inch long. The extravasation of blood in the skin and were several abrasions on the back of the hands, moreover, showing the same conditioning. On the opening of the thorax, it was found that the right lung was minimally adherent to old firm adhesions. The lower part of the lung was broken and torn away. The left lung was intact and adhered
He
to
left
the
that
apex.
intact,
And there
really?
were the few adhesions on the right side. In the substances of the lungs, there were several nodules of consolidation. There was an opening below and the heart absent. The abnormal cavity where some partly digested food of fish and potatoes and similar food is found with the remains of the stomach attached to the intestines. Now, you're going to wonder why she got mutilated more than the others. Because he had more time with her.
He did.
She was inside of a house. The others, they were not.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then, like, out of all the things, like, one lung was like, he did like completely tear that up. Everything else was like completely, he was like cut up. Like, that was a mess. She was a mess when he was.
Yeah. There you go.
Yeah. She was like.
I agree, Eternal. He got mad. He a mad.
He was.
He a mad
He
man.
was, and he must have took it out on her
He
because like, he definitely was angry at something.
Yeah, he was pinched. He was definitely pinched. My thing is, I mean, what can drive somebody to do that? Oh man, I don't know.
I don't know. That's some. I mean, like Scientology, like when they talk, because I wrote down like they were talking about like the criminal profiling. I mean, obviously they think that it was a butcher because that was like the first, and then he cut from left to right, and especially on those 5 women, and that's why they think that it was that those were his main victims. They didn't, but I do think that he killed more. I don't think that he just limit himself to the 5 victims. He had to kill.
Oh, I agree.
And the throat was always the kill, like that he killed them first with the cutting their throat, and the butcher is the most likely suspect. And it says no sexual activity for the victims, but like you said, that doesn't mean that it wasn't sexual.
Right.
So
it's not like he killed men. It was only towards women.
And it was all prostitutes.
Yep.
I'm not.
He should have did it to hairdressers.
What's wrong with hairdressers?
I'm kidding. I'm kidding.
Hairdressers are fun. But I can also, I know how kind of sad. I wrote him like written at the time. It was like 19th century, and it was like an influx of like the Irish immigrants, Jewish refugees. And
what's wrong with the Irish?
Well, it didn't say that it was just like in the East End, they all flooded to that area, and that's why the East End became overcrowded, and the property was so high, and prostitution, women had to become prostitutes to survive, and there was over 62 brothels, and over 1,200 women started working as prostitutes. And so it became easy for him to find his victims because there were so many of them.
No. I heard that in Eternal's voice. You're horrible, Matthew.
You're horrible. He likes to tease me.
You're horrible.
But no, but that's how they explain the background of it, why he picked,
right,
or why it was so easy for him to pick them off. But still, that doesn't make that right that he picked them off. But I don't know why that London just kind of swept it under just because they were prostitutes.
Right.
But I'm sure that this country would too, because they were, he wouldn't even know where to look, for them,
Next we gotta do the what was the Manhattan slasher?
The Manhattan slasher, yeah. I'll write it down. Manhattan slasher.
Or Manhattan Ripper or something like that.
Or is that Mid Ripper?
Or Midtown Slasher, something like that.
Midtown Slasher. Okay, I'll look it up. Well, and I got that list of all the other serial killers you gave me.
Yeah, the only one we don't do is the fish guy.
No fish guy. Jamie, you're still on here. No fish guy.
No fish guy. You're horrible, says Eternal.
How does my eyes look? I still need to do the rest of my makeup, but how do my eyes look? Are they smoky enough?
Let me see. Okay. Yeah, Eternal. You look good. Yeah, who made those earrings?
I don't know. This great company called Wickers. Somebody dropped the link.
Oh, okay.
Love them. I wear them all the time. Somebody asked me today. Yes, actually, somebody asked me.
Yeah, you know that they're one of a kind. I can never make those again.
Oh, these? On Friday night, Bonnie, my client Bonnie, that I love so much, she asked me about my skull ones, and I was like, oh, my friend makes them, and she's like, oh, she's so talented. I was like, oh, it's a he.
Yeah, I get that a lot.
That was funny. I thought you'd get a kick out of that. Thank you. I thought that was funny when she's like, oh, she's so talented. And I was like, it's a he. You should have saw her face. I'm about to die. You think she would say, oh, they're so talented, so, she don't put her open mouth, insert foot kind of thing. Because it could be.
Right.
It could be anybody. But no, she said, why does it have to be a girl that makes jewelry? Whatever. Anyway, she probably won't ever make that mistake again. I thought it was funny. Okay, so I just think with that many people that he killed, I can't believe that nobody caught him.
Because they didn't know what they were doing.
Well, or that he get sloppy because, serial killers get kind of like, they get cocky and they start getting sloppy. And
yeah, he definitely got sloppy with the last victim.
Oh, he did. That's why I'm like, I can't believe he didn't get caught. Thank you. How does Matthew's makeup look?
Does my makeup look good?
Doesn't he look gorgeous?
I did a Jack the Ripper look.
He has a devil face mask on right now. Can't you? That would have been funny if you did that.
Yeah, I'm putting my guyliner on, Jamie.
He has his eyeliner on right now.
And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to head over to Whitechapel. But my moniker is going to be Matt the Stripper. I don't go out and kill the girls. I just go out and strip in front of them.
Get your dollar bills ready, girls. That's funny.
Matt the stripper.
Matt the stripper. You're not gonna like think of another stripper name? Like, you're just gonna use your first name? Because remember on stripper night, didn't you think of another name when we all were doing like stripper night? Remember? I can't remember what you said, what your stripper name was going to be.
Jamie says, I'm not going anywhere, especially after talking about the Ripper.
I know. I was like, when we're talking about all this stuff at night, it's kind of like, kind of makes you not want to go out at night.
Good.
Don't go out in any dark alleyways. Just saying.
I only go after people who drink Pepsi and go to McDonald's for lunch.
Didn't have McDonald's today. Woo! And I don't drink Pepsi. I'm safe.
Well, we only go after women for their money. So, we know hairdressers don't make that much.
Yeah. True. True story.
So you're safe, Tammy.
Oh, I know. We get ripped off. Oh, don't tell me that. You're screwed. You had a Pepsi.
Yeah, yeah. The Pepsi Cola killer. Whoever drinks Pepsi.
What were you saying? Like your serial killer name would be? What was that? The other day you were saying. That was funny.
Wait, what was I saying?
Remember your serial name, and you said mine would be like something texter, like because I'm a bad texter. It would be like, I can't remember, but it was funny.
I don't recall that.
It was something about me being a bad texter. It was mine, and I can't remember what yours was.
You are a bad texter.
I am the worst, but I admit it freely. I have other redeeming qualities, though. Many other redeeming qualities.
I should start making Jack the Ripper. I should start making Jack the Ripper jewelry and just make like necklaces and bracelets with body parts.
Serial killer bracelet. Okay. So, any other stories that you guys want to see us do for Murder, Makeup, and Mayhem? Any suggestions?
Yeah, we covered a lot with Jack the Ripper.
We did. And I'm proud of myself. I learned this in 2 days. I thought I did pretty good.
No,
in 2 days. Because that is a lot of information of Jack the Ripper.
It is, but it isn't.
I mean, I'm glad it wasn't like some of the other ones. Like if it would have been like Jeffrey Dahmer or something that was like, that might have been harder. That one might have been a little harder.
We don't say his name, do we?
We don't? Okay. Sorry. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you, Eternal.
Oh, Jamie said we do it too.
Maybe when I get more room, I'll go actually get my camera. When I get more room, I'll get on camera and I'll be on there with you.
Okay. We would like to see your face.
Yeah, but who said I want to see yours? Oh!
Face all the time.
Oh! I keep forgetting I'm on live.
Mm-hmm. Because you're not used to being live.
Yeah. I'm all sitting here like looking at stuff and whatnot.
And like making stuff. Ooh.
Yeah.
Tell everybody about your new jewelry that you made.
Like, oh,
Since we have a few minutes. And
what?
I'm putting on lipstick and I can't tell everybody about your new jewelry that you just posted. Since we have a few minutes.
Oh, I posted some new stuff. I'm going to be posting up some new stuff again very shortly. I guess I'll put let me put my link up, I guess.
Yeah.
Or Freddie. I don't know if Freddie can do it yet.
Yeah, she can. She's a mod. Freddie, put Matt's link
but I
up.
don't know if she knows how to do that.
Or Jamie, can you put Matt's link?
No, I can do it.
Oh, she doesn't know how. Okay. Never mind. We got it.
That's why I said I didn't know if she knew how yet. I got to teach her.
We will teach. It took me a long time to figure that out. I'm not even going to lie. It took me a minute.
But I'm going to do my my Insta Slam too.
Okay.
Because I kind of like doing stuff on there better than, like, don't get me wrong, I like doing the videos and stuff, but I really like posting on Insta Slam.
That's a little quicker sometimes, I'm sure, for you than to.
It is. My Insta Slam.
Your Facebook. As Caleb's
Facebook. Facebook.
All right, this is my finished look.
Let me see what it looks like. That looks good.
Right?
What kind of lipstick is that?
It's a Huda Beauty lipstick, and it's called Masquerade.
I like that color.
Yeah. I went to get black, but when I went and got it, they were all out. It was like the closest thing I could get to black. Because I got it like right after Halloween, I think. And it was like all black lipstick was out of Sephora when I went. So it was like the closest thing I could get to black. I need to go back and get their other lipsticks because I really like that one.
Yeah, I like that color. That color's nice.
Oh, thank you. But anyway, so this is everything, and we're all finished up with Jack the Ripper. And we will see you guys not.
Yeah, and don't forget, Jack the Ripper. It was that dude.
We will see you guys not this Friday, but the Friday after. And next Friday is Slumber Party. So
I'll be there too. No, I won't.
well, he'll be in the chat. Hopefully he'll be in the chat, hanging out with all of us. Anyway, we will see you next time. Thank you so much. Bye.
Bye, everyone.